YouTube. I'm trying so hard to communicate with y'all. I tried to go live for the first time with the homie G Boy and the homie Pint. And I want to assure everyone that the lack of heat that I got for y'all, yo, is not out of fear. It's not out of fear. I just really want to get this custody of my children, right? That's number one. Then I want to demonstrate that if my children were not wrongfully taken away from me. So once they was kidnapped by Nevada regulatory statutes, NRS, I want to say 290, is kidnapping in the second degree. And what kidnapping in the second degree is when you take an individual and with the use of fraud, you displace them. It's deep. It's way deeper than regular state kidnapping, like where you grab somebody and move them from one place to another place, or snatch them, put them in the trunk, and take them from a certain distance. I think by state it goes by how far you take a person. During my times of hearing several homies for cases, from adult cases to juvenile cases to adults as juveniles, and the shortest distance I've seen on a kidnapping one case, I want to say it comes from the 60s. Tadpole, Sinbad, or my cousin Crumb from Six Deuce East Coast. Him and Roscoe and Crybaby and them did something jury lit. And I want to say, like, from get over there and open these counters over here. And they got a kidnapping on that. Because they forced the lady who was stuck in fear. She was shocked and didn't want to move. They had to point the gun all in her face to make her come open the safe. They gave them kidnapping. I mean, it's like it was feet. Now, in that case, I want to say they all got tried as juveniles. But the big thing with them is one of the coasts got killed. My cousin did his lick. He got caught up in one of those jewelry store robberies. And I want to say it was 91. Because when my cousin Crumb did his crime, that I was in YA with him in 95. We was in Nellis. Crumb was on the run when I found out he was my cousin. And how Crumb from Six Deuce East Coast scrap on my folks is their uncle, who was one of Tukey. He lifted weights with Tukey at the Blue House in Compton with the first Santana that I knew that was like well known in Inglewood. And that was the big homie, rest in peace, named Q. They called him Q Dog. I want to say that's what Melly Mel. I talked to Mel like probably a year and a half ago. I had a long conversation with Mel about the Santana block influence in my life. You feel me? Baby Gangster from Santana was in the feds with some of my closest homies. Homie KP, the homie Border Bang, West Side. Who else was? That's the thing with my hood. More of my homies as ransoms, I want to say, went to the state penitentiary, as opposed to where the only ransoms that hit the state currently right now, we had a homie that's resting that passed from that disease in the pen, some kind of flu that homies was getting in, I want to say Solana Valley, but that would be the homie Baby S, little S, so that would be Big S, which we call Misco, but that's Cisco from Ransom. There's Big S, Little S, and Big S, little brother, Baby S. One of the homies, one of the homies that I'm the most proud of out the 8 Deuce clique, and that's the Ransom homies. There's 3 cliques with the Ransoms. There's a 99th Street, who I feel like I'm the only one, me and my homie Ski and Lil Slim, the crackheads, the Eagle Wise niggas, the crackheads for the set. But if you keep it real, we are the 3 youngest homies from the hood. Cause see, when Ski first got put on the hood, he was Little Scheme, and Lil Ledge from Inglewood Families was Big Scheme. And that's how the Money Side Mobster clique transpired. That's what I believe allowed the Money Side Hustlers to not suffer as many casualties as we could have, I should say. Because let's give you an example. The day I got pistol whipped and stripped by the Legends, right? There was at least 15 Legends. No cap. Massey was there. Lowdown. What's Perry name? Bad Luck. Lil Luck. Nepo. Jack Bunny was the main one that was stripping me. I later got to talk to Jack Bunny about the situation. I talked to a few of these cats about the situation, but the one that gave me the biggest breakdown was the one that didn't. 2 of them didn't touch me that day. Then was the 2 cats that stood in front of Big Ant Dog. That's his brother Stacy baby daddy, Stacy, his sister Stacy baby daddy, who is what Outlaw told me they call Chaka. Chaka was Lowdown. Okay, yeah. So Chaka is Little Lowdown. And I want to say Perry was Bad Luck. I be forgetting, yo. Perry was around for a very long time, though. I knew Perry when they was Legend Crew. Because my homie T Capone, Big T Capone, who's still a Keyway. So everybody right now that didn't want to become Don Moves chose to be Ransom Mob Bloods. But Big No Good, Jumbo, and T Capone all wanted to remain Crips. So all the other homies that was even Crips before, non-affiliates, if you wanted to stay down with what we was doing at the time, you became a Ransom Mob. Now, homies who was stuck in a Crip ways became, like, I hear the homie Big No Good goes as a Myrtle Street Hustler Crip. And he did that when the homies turned Bloods. And I want to say he did it a little earlier because his deuce, Lil No Good, had followed in his shoes. And what's crazy is when Lil No Good first came to the hood, he was from Compton. Elm Street, Piru to be exact. And this is why I never became a no good. I'm going to break down the whole Money Side Hustler Ransom Mob history. And what did I do when I came home? What mind state was I on May 25th, 2005, after walking out of CYA in Chino? After 10 years and 9 months. So I went in at 14 years old. Hear that? 14. Only other homies my age really at that time I was the youngest or the smallest. Not even the smallest. Me and Lil Pueblo Steve was about the same size, but Lil Steve hit YA a few years before me. He got there before Wack and them. That was like the youngest homie running around YA from like 90. Lil Steve. These is homies that got excited when I got there because they was no longer the little homies. So I would say the youngest homie after me was my first rival. My first rival was Crybaby from Fruittown, Piru, and Nellis. And me and Crybaby was rivals because I instigated him getting jumped before, talked bad about him getting beat up on. And I'm going to keep it real. Why I never became fond of Crybaby. First and foremost, I met Crybaby in camp. So he's been born and raised in the treetops, fruit towns, because his brother was from Treetop.